see anybody behind you? She's alone.
I am alone. It's the most liberating way to be.
Okay, I'm not used to this. I've been in the entertainment industry for so long. I'm used to a star walking in with an entourage, and you are alone here, Malavika?
So just to give you context, I have the last 2 months have been absolute madness where I've been promoting 2 films and I've been shooting for 2 other films. So I am surrounded by an entourage day in and day out. So today I was just like, guys, just get me ready. And I'm just gonna go walk out all by myself, all the touch-ups, everything just finished before I leave, and I just want to be by myself. Wow. So I think this is where you steal pockets.
And I think that's amazing. And it's so refreshing to see that somebody is walking, a star is walking into NDTV office without an entourage, all by herself. And
I didn't even know it was a big deal. Is it such a big deal?
It is a big deal. It's like, I have seen people, it's like more like an ego boost.
Yeah, this side? Yes. Yeah, because my hair is just covering my face and this one's stuck back.
Oh, do you have a profile?
I do this, which is why I tucked it back here.
How do you know profile? I have never known. I've worked in front of the cameras. How do you know? Which is my profile?
I think when you're seeing yourself constantly, like the way things look in real life and the way things reflect on camera, photographs, it's so different that we end up having our favorites. Like right or wrong is very subjective, but in fact a lot of like photographers and cinematographers, they'll just be like, I love this profile, and they're like, no, this one's nicer.
Oh, they tell you, so you...
They tell me, but I still like my...
Because I know a lot of people who have their profile, and I still don't know what my profile is, so I am always figuring it out.
By the end of this interview,
no?
Yeah.
Okay, first, Malavika, congratulations. 2 back-to-back films, and you are doing great. I cannot not ask you about Thangalan. Oh my God, that character that you played, how well it has been written. And to get a character like this in this stage of your career, it's like mind-blowing. When the character came to you, what was your reaction? Like, did you even blink an eye to think that, should I do this or not? Or was it, you took your time?
So as female actors of today's day and age, we talk so much about wanting more roles which have an agency, wanting roles which basically walk our talk. We talk about feminism, we talk about equality, we talk about an accurate portrayal of women on screen, which we haven't been getting for eons now. So at a time like that, to get something like a Thangalan, where in most films, even when you show women to be strong, you show women to be mentally resilient or emotionally strong, or somebody's pillar of strength, jo ki achhi baat hai, even that's there obviously, but very rarely do films, especially films in India, show women to be physically very strong, So that was one thing that I found so interesting about Thangalan, where the male protagonist, Thangalan, played by, the iconic Jian Vikram. So him and the character I played, Arati, they are physically constantly like they're fighting each other, and she's physically stronger than him, if not as as strong as him or even stronger. And I thought that was amazing. I'm like, see, women can be physically strong and beat people up. Enough makers to we don't need to be rescued. This is far from it. He needed to be rescued in the film. Like that's how the director showed it, portrayed it. Like in the end, even when he gets what he's out to get, it's because she gives it to him. It's not because she had to be rescued or something like that, which I thought was fantastic.
Absolutely, and the film did so well, and everybody has been talking about it. Tell me the kind of messages and calls you have got after this.
A lot of messages and calls, but I haven't had time to process anything, because like I said, it's been so back to back. Between one promotion is mad enough, but to have like 2 promotions and 2 films. I remember finishing the first show of Thangalan, and as soon as I finished watching it in the theatre, because I wanted to catch it in Chennai, because that's where the madness is, I took a flight and went straight to Hyderabad, because I had night shoot from the same day for the Prabhas film that I'm doing in Telugu. So I took a flight, went there, shot there the whole night and continuously shot there. So there's a large backlog of processing, of returning calls, of speaking to a lot of people, but lovely things from the industry. So many calls from makers I admire, from actors I admire. So it's been a good month.
I want to know what happens behind the scenes of a film like when you're working with Vikram in Thangalan or a Prabhas. What is the dynamic like? Because they are big stars, you know. And then you go. Is it intimidating? How is the first day like? What is Malvika thinking when she enters a set with such big stars?
I think you can't ever compare two films. Is what I feel. You know, everything. It's like the feeling of entering a different group project. Like you are overwhelmed. You're kind of figuring out, you know, like how do you contribute to this dynamic? Where do you fit in? How do you do your part well? You know, these are the basics that run in your mind. But every group is so different, right? So it's a similar feeling. Thangalan, I was and we started off with a very intense stunt sequence, which required me to beat up Thangalan, Vikram sir. So I think day one was just him getting hit by me because I was still figuring out like stick fighting. So I would try to balance it and I would inevitably end up hitting him and he would just be like ouch, ouch, ouch. So it's not a great first day, I'll tell you that, where you're beating your co-star the entire day. But he's a sport, so he knew exactly what was happening and he helped me. But he had a lot of bad bruises, which I'm not proud of.
But it's work.
With Prabhas sir, I didn't hit him. So
You call him Prabhas sir?
Yeah, he's so much more a senior. He's been around for so long. And he did not get hit by me, which is a great start comparatively to begin with.
You know, with Prabhas, I remember whenever I meet him, he's a man of few words, and me being me, had been talking, and I interviewed him during Bahubali, and he doesn't talk, and I have to interview where I have to keep, baat karo, I have an answer, and he will just point it towards Rana, like, usse pucho. And how is he, when you're working with him, he's so quiet.
He does open up, but I think in a smaller setting, like more around his close people and people he's comfortable around. And
the feeding part is everybody always talks about Prabhas hame khila ke matlab maar dega.
Mota kar dega, which is even worse when you're an actor and you're shooting, you know, for all these movies where you're supposed to look hot and glamorous. It's worse than maar dalna. But his food is yummy. It is so good. It's the best biryani, like one of the best biryanis. My mom makes amazing biryani. My mom makes amazing food. So my bias will always be towards her food. But if something comes, you know, this comes a very close second.
Next time we'll be at Malavika's place, and you know why, doing an interview there.
We'll do this eating and then, you know, collapse into a food coma.
Absolutely. You know, you're talking about beating up your co-star. You have done with Siddhant also, right? Siddhant has been slapped by you.
Yeah, what is up with I have to stop beating my co-stars.
Yeah, what's with you? Beating people out.
I need to stop getting directors who ask me to beat up my co-stars.
Let's talk about Yudra and Siddhant. The dance moves, the action, everything looks spectacular. Tell me let's start with the dance, because we have already spoken about beating up people. The dance, he is very good. What was it like to keep up with him?
Honestly, it made it easier for me, because there was by the time we started filming for Yudra, there was such a nice camaraderie, such a nice friendship between us that, you know, and it's so lovely to work with somebody who's the same generation, age as you. The whole sir business doesn't really come into play, right? So you don't feel that that gap. It's more like it's like a very buddy feeling. So it's great to do things like dance and all, because you're just vibing with each other and it's so easy, you know. So I think that was my favorite part of. I think it was the first time in a very long time I was acting with somebody my age.
That's fine. And the action, let's talk about the action. Did you enjoy doing it? Because you have a bit of your own action in the film, right?
I do. I quite enjoyed doing it. In fact, my friends have jokingly been calling me female Bruce Lee, because they're in every film you're doing action. Thangalan was out and out action for me, for my part. Yudra had I don't call it a big scene, it's one scene where I have action, so I don't take too much credit for that. But I have in every film I'm doing currently I have action. So
for an actress, even for an actor, what is the grilling thing that you have to go through to do those action sequences? Like body, how much rehearsals, how many days rehearsal? What was it like for you?
I think more than anything else, it's the trick with action is to make it look effortless. You know, that's what I realized after a lot of bloopers, obviously, and after a lot of back and forths and learning from some of the best. I learned that, you know, it looks stronger when you look like you're not trying too hard.
Which one is your favorite action film, a woman led action film?
Kill Bill. I love Kill Bill. I love Kill Bill. I was so inspired. I love Kill Bill. I would love to do a film like that.
I agree with you. It's so smooth, like you said, so effortless.
And so stylish. So much style, you know. When it's just like realistic action, it's great. But what makes it more fun as an actor is when there's a style quotient, and you know, when you're wearing these dramatic clothes and it's flying, and you know, or you're doing something cool. It's more fun.
Absolutely. And now I'm going to talk about more Malavika than the actress Malavika. Malavika, remember the time when Rajinikanth told you that you are going to be a superstar? What happened? How did this happen, like that moment? Please tell me about this.
Firstly, it's very sweet of him to say something that generous and sweet, especially when... So just to give you context, my first Tamil movie ever was with Rajni sir. And I was playing like it was not, in terms of screen time, it wasn't a really big character. It was a very important character, but I really wanted to act with Rajinikanth. It's like a bucket list item for like...
First film only got it.
It happened to come my way, and I was doing lead parts in every other film that I was doing. But this, I was like, I don't care if it's a supporting part. I'm going to do this to work with him. And, you know, there was this one scene which was like a 1-page long dialogue, and I never spoke Tamil. So I remember like finishing the entire scene, and I finished it in one take. And the director was really impressed. And before, like, the moment he said cut, I could hear someone clapping, and I turned and it was Rajni sir. And he's like that, you know. It shows his greatness. He's very encouraging towards newcomers. He didn't have to do that, right? Like nobody has to do that. But he was clapping, and then after a few more days of seeing my work, he was just like, you know what, you're gonna go a long way. You're gonna be a star. And it's more than anything else, it's about someone at that stature saying something that's sweet and encouraging when you're a newcomer, you're still trying to find your foothold. It means so much to hear something like that. So, yeah.
Malavika, you have worked in Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu is, you're just going to make a debut with Prabhas, and of course you have worked here in Bollywood. But tell me, how many languages do you know?
I don't speak all the languages, it's still work in progress. Okay, what all do I speak? I speak Hindi. I've grown up in Bombay, so Hindi. Malayalam, which is my mother tongue, English. I used to speak very fluent Marathi because my friends growing up were Marathi. I had to learn Marathi in school, but now it's a little rusty only because of lack of practice. I speak a little bit of Gujarati. Again, I grew up with Guju friends. I speak and understand a little bit of Tamil now, but I think I still have a few months ahead of me. And Telugu I'm learning, so...
Wow.
It's not that much.
It's a lot.
Please. For people who grow up in Bombay and Mumbai, like metropolitan cities, I feel like you pick up, right? Like I have friends who've grown up in Bangalore who speak Malayalam, Kannada, Tulu, you know, speak. So I think it's a very Indian thing. But I do want to properly learn, like I'm taking classes to learn Telugu because I feel like so much of, like Telugu is as big as Bollywood now in terms of economics, in terms of scale. So as an actor, if you're not tapping into that industry, you're losing out on like big work, you know. So I'm learning Telugu because I want to like be able to perform better.
Okay, should we walk? Yeah, let's go. We'll move this side. Okay, Malavika, you know, I've seen your film. I have known your career, but I want to know, ये acting का कीड़ा लगा कहाँ से? And what made you think that okay, this is it. This is what I want to be?
You know, fun story. I remember I was in college. I was studying mass media, and I one day went to उस time पे तलाश की shooting चल रही थी, the Amir Khan Kareena Kapoor film. And I remember going on that set because I had a few friends, you know, who were there, who were working as a part of the crew. And the shoot was happening at night. So, you know, so a few of us friends had gone there. And it was this one scene where Amir Khan is sitting in a car in this red light district. The whole story is like that, right? So he's sitting in the car on the street. And we were all like kind of hanging out opposite, like diagonally opposite to where he was sitting. And like he looked at us a couple of times during shoot, and then after the shot was over, he just like called me. You know, he did this ishara, and he was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And he was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I'm in college." And he was like, "I think you should be an actor." So Amir Khan was the first person to ever tell me out of the blue. It's not like he saw me at an audition or he saw me modeling. Out of the blue, he saw me and he was like, "I think you should be an actor." And I was like, "Sir, I'm in college. Like, I have no plans as such, you know." And I absolutely had no plans. But he was the first person ever to tell me that. So
Then what happened?
I mean, then life happened. And then I went about my college, and then at one point I got an offer for a Malayalam movie with Dulquer Salman, you know, who had his, you know, like breakthrough in Malayalam, and he was like the new blue-eyed boy in Malayalam and heartthrob, and you know, they were casting for a film with him. And his father, Mammootty sir, he recommended my name, saying that this, you know, there's this very promising young girl, why don't you guys cast her? So that's how I got my first movie. And then, so it was like it was not planned, but after that I started charting out my career. I was like, okay, now that this is happening, now I need to take some control and, you know, meet casting directors, meet people, hustle, make this happen.
Okay, so, and if not acting, what would Malavika be doing now? Holding this mic maybe.
Probably. I was studying mass media, so probably journalism did always interest me, but also I've always been fascinated by the visual arts. So something to like, at one point I wanted to be a documentary filmmaker, make documentaries, like things like that really interested me, like diving deep into a cultural subject, a socio-political subject. So maybe something like that, either a documentary filmmaker or a cinematographer.
Wow.
Or something behind the camera. I was never in camera. I never took the center stage, even in school.
Really?
I never did theatre, I was very shy. I was very shy to do any kind of performing arts.
How?
And I've heard this about a lot of actors,
Yes,
you know.
I
That's
was just
the funny
gonna
thing.
say.
A lot of actors keep saying,
You know, Shah Rukh Khan also, right?
Oh,
like,
did he-
he has done a lot of plays and all, but he's very shy. Hrithik is very shy. Like, a lot of actors are very shy. They're socially awkward.
yeah, I've heard that. I keep hearing. In fact, most of my friends also, like most of my co-actors, people I worked with, you know, I see that all the time. Like, they're very shy. Like, they go and do what they have to do, and then they come back to like their handful of friends that they have, and that's about it. You know.
I really, they're different people when they're on camera, right?
Yeah, I think that's the irony.
And okay, so now that you're not sleeping and you're working, that's a great thing. But what next? Like, we know Prabhas is coming and a film with Prabhas. But what are you looking forward to now? Who are the directors that you have in your bucket list that these are the people I have to work with? Because clearly you have manifested everything.
No, not that. I'm just starting.
Prabhas, Rajinikanth. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm happy to have manifested work at a time when most of the industry is not working. And to have sleepless nights when people are sleeping a lot. But on a serious note, there are makers from different industries whose work I love, and I voraciously follow every industry, from Malayalam to Tamil to Telugu to Kannada to Hindi, everything. I really want to work with, in Hindi I would say I really want to work with Zoya Akhtar. She's on my list because I also feel like she's so good with actors, you know. She really extracts these performances out of you. She's fantastic. I want to work with Mani Ratnam. He's been the OG person on my list. I love how he just presents his actresses, you know, just the way he shoots them, just the slow motions, it's pure love. Telugu, I would say Rajamouli. Of course,
How can we miss that?
How can we miss that? And I feel like in a lot of films, in most of his films, he writes very good roles for women. Like, I loved Anushka's role in Bahubali. What a strong, like Ramya Krishna's role, like strong women, Magadira, like in so many movies. So I want to work with makers who don't show women just as damsel in distress, but who, you know, there's more. It's a more accurate representation. So I want to actively work with makers like that.
What a great time to be a female actor right now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The lines between all the industries have blurred so much. आप कहीं भी काम कर सकते हो, and if the film is good, it will get its reach. It will reach, because of OTT, because of social media, people will talk about it. So it doesn't matter where you work, but if it's a good film, then it will reach people.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for coming to our studio, and we loved chatting with you.
Thank you. Same here, and I love what you're wearing. The snake, very cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.